Hey guys, Cameron, Audi C7 owners. Gonna do a cool little video, I feel like. Some of you guys may know about this, but we're gonna talk about some things that you may or may not know about your Audi C7. We got 10 things we're gonna cover in this video, but before we get into it, will you please do me a favor? We are less than 60, can't see on my fingers, we are less than 60 people away from getting 2,000 followers on Instagram. And as soon as we hit 2,000, we're giving away a set of heat shielded test pipes from Can Auto Performance. If you could, please go check out our Instagram page at Audi C7 owners, and all you have to do is hit follow and we're one step closer. So do me that quick favor, that'd be awesome. But let's get into this video. It's festive season, y'all. So first up on the list, we're gonna talk about the door chime. Someone actually pointed this out in another video of mine. So we're gonna get in here, turn the car on. Let's actually turn the car on completely. All right, so you hear that chiming, that's the door chime going on. All you have to do to defeat that is press one of these two arrow buttons. Once you press that, that kills the door chime. Unfortunately, there's not a way in OBD11 or VCDS to completely disable the door chime, but you can immediately silence it using one of those. Shout out to the people that have hit me up on comments in other videos that told me about that one, because that was one I did not know about. Number 2 on the list, we're going to talk about our reversing side mirrors. So over here on our side mirror button control, let me zoom in here, you've got 4 options. You've got this thing on the very bottom, and what that does is that tilts your mirrors up. So that's a manual way to tilt your mirrors up. If you move it to the left, obviously you will control your left mirror. If you move it over to the right, you'll control your right mirror. And if you keep it in the middle, then that is defrost. Now, right now I've got it set to the defrost, and if I put my car in reverse, nothing happens over here, okay? So I'm gonna put my car back in park. But if I move this over to the right mirror and I put my car in reverse, if you watch the mirror, it starts to tilt down. And that's to help you see what you're gonna be potentially parallel parking next to, things like that. Now, what you might not know about this is that right now, while it is in the reverse mode to where you can see what you're doing, if you come back over to this and you adjust it, so I'm gonna mess around with this and you'll be able to see on here. So right now I'm gonna go as far down as I can. So I've put it all the way down as far as I possibly can. I'm gonna angle it out a little bit here. Now when I put my car back into park, it's gonna stay there, okay? But when I move this back over, and you can watch the mirror go back up. But now that I've adjusted it, when I go back and I put this over here again, and I put this into reverse, if you watch this, it's gonna go back all the way down where we put it. So that's how you set where you want it to reverse to whenever you put your car into reverse with that side mirror tilt. All right, number 3 on our list has to do with our HVAC system here. Let me adjust the side, or focus there. Anyways, whenever we are driving around, we have our heat or our air conditioning blowing. We might go to a store where we have to hop out just for a few minutes. And if it's really hot outside or really cold outside, it'd be nice to make sure that your car's heating and air, you know, kind of worked while you were gone. But you don't want to leave your car running, obviously, right? So one thing you can do, right now my car's on, I've got my heat going. I don't have it full blast because I don't want the sound to interfere with the video. But right now I'm gonna turn the car off, and you'll see everything shuts off, right? Now, if I go over here and I hold the fan button for a few seconds, everything comes back on and it will start to recirculate. You can hit the recirculate button here, and what that'll do is while you're gone, it'll recirculate the air that's in the cabin and keep it cool or keep it warm for a few minutes. I think it lasts maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Now, when you do this, your heads-up display is still gonna be on, you're still gonna have your cluster here, but all you have to do is press your power button one time, and all that stuff turns off, but your HVAC system still circulates the air. So this might be a neat little trick for you guys in the hotter or colder months. All right, guys, trick number 4, 5, something like that. The next one on the list here, this is in our glove box, right? So if we look back here, you see this little thing back here? If we rotate this, it opens up to a hole here. And what that does is that allows to circulate air into your glove box if you, for some reason, feel like you need to keep something cool. Like let's say it's summer, you got a chocolate bar and you don't want it to melt. Throw that Haas in here, open this up, turn your AC to full blast, and that'll funnel cold air in here. But keep in mind, likewise, if you're running your heat, it'll funnel hot air into here. But this is a little thing that's kind of hidden that a lot of people don't know about, and this thing just rotates to open, and it rotates, well, I should say rotates to shutting, and it rotates to open. And you can, you know, leave it halfway if you want, whatever you want to do. I wouldn't think that it's going to keep like a cold can of soda very, very cold, but you know, it might keep it chill for long enough. So just another little trick. All right, number 5, guys. This might be one of my favorite hidden features on this car. We're gonna go into the trunk here. So we go in here, let's say you go grocery shopping, you got a bunch of bags of groceries, and you want to toss them in here. You don't have this fancy system here to hold all your stuff in place, but you don't want your groceries sliding around. What do? Well, check this out. If I get down underneath here and I look up, you see this little pull tab here and this pull tab here. Well, if I take my bag of groceries, I go over here and I pull this tab down, it brings some grocery bag holder tabs down. Now this bag's a little long, but this right here will keep your bags from flying all over the place. You can hang them on each side of the hook there, sorry about the sun, and it'll keep them in place. It won't let them roll, won't let stuff spill out of the bags. There's one on each side here. That's one of my favorite things. I use this trick every time I go to the grocery store practically. And while we're in the trunk, I'll show you tip number 6. And a lot of you might know about this one, but just in case, this is your floor that most of you are gonna have. I've got my little Gorilla Gear mat here. But if you have to get into your trunk well, you know, you've got this thing to pick up and you can get into your trunk to get your spare tire, whatever you need to do. But what some people might not know is on this tab, if you pull this up, on the back side, it's got a little spring-loaded clip. If you bring this all the way up, you hook it right there. And now it's hands-free. You can get in here and you don't have to mess with this. You can even close your trunk and it will come down and it'll hit it. And I've done it multiple times forgetting about this and it hasn't broken it yet. Wouldn't suggest doing it, but I'm just saying it's pretty durable. But that allows you to keep this up here so that you can get into your trunk or your spare tire well hands-free if you need to. All right, for tip number 7 or hidden feature number 7, if you go into your glove box again and you look in here, you've got this button called Valet, okay? If you press this, and then you try and go back to your trunk and try and use your trunk open button here. If you hold it, you'll see your lights come on, but the trunk doesn't open. Same thing for the actual trunk button over there. You cannot open your trunk when the Valet button is pressed. That's what it's for. Now the thing is, these seats, you come in here, you've got your like seats, whatever you want to call buttons here, and you can pull those and open it up. But what you might not know about is on your key, you got that little button on the back, right? Shake it out and it turns into a key. On each of these, let me get my hand back here so you can see. You see that little lock? There's one on this side and there's also one on the other side. If you go in here, let me get the key in, but if you go in here, you put that key in, turn it. Right now I just unlocked mine so I can open this up, right? So if you use the Valet button and you don't lock these, someone can still just go in through your seats. So if you're gonna use the Valet button to keep your trunk secure, make sure you go in with your keys on both sides, put it over there, turn it, and lock it, and then you can't open up and gain access to the trunk from the seats. Number 8 on the list is the under seat compartment. Not every car has this, and pardon how filthy my car is, but on the front seats, you've got these little things that fold down. There is not a lot of room to put anything really in here. I'm not sure what it's designed for. I feel like Audi engineers must have had something in mind for this. I used to keep a VCDS cable in there when I had that before my OBD11, but on my car, my driver's side seat and my passenger seat has this. I don't really use it, but it could be useful for somebody, so there's that. Time to vacuum. Okay, for tip number 9, we're back in the car, and this is something that's kind of interesting. Let me back out all the way here. So we're at our car menu here on the MMI display, and I will zoom in so you can see it better. Obviously you have your manual that comes with your car and your car's handbook, and I use that often. But for some reason, if you don't have that or you just don't like reading, you can go into this car. If you hit your car button right here, and it brings that up, and we all know this is where we adjust our drive select. You got car systems there on the bottom left. Whoop. You got individual, so you can set what you want. And then what's often overlooked is this one up here, owner's manual. So if you go back down here to your MMI controls and you hit the top right button for owner's manual, it'll bring up an onboard manual that is loaded into the car. Scroll down, hit the continue, I won't use this while I'm driving. And then you can scroll through all these different things and click on something for the car to tell you about. So I don't know, let's find here, advanced seating system, just for fun. Click on that. And then you press on one of these. And the cool thing about this is that it doesn't just bring up the manual for you to read. If you click on this, we're gonna wait for it to load. It brings up a video showing you actually how to do this.
That you adjust the front seats in your Audi, especially the driver's seat.
So that is kind of a cool feature that I stumbled upon one day. And it, you know, someone might want to do this and sit there and go through some stuff, and you know, the Audi techs can show it to you there on your video. That's all stored in the vehicle. And I don't know if this is on there for every single C7, C7.5, or you know, sometimes the 2012s can be a little bit weird and not have certain options, but that is on there. So let me know if your car has it. Hey guys, tips and tricks, number 10 on the list, the final one for this list on this video. This is an awesome one, but you do have to enable it via OBD11 or VCDS. We got a tutorial video on doing this on our OBD11 tutorial series, but this is the lap timer function. So on your steering wheel, you've got this little button for your heads-up display that controls certain things. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll over here to, this is the vehicle information section. Right now, usually it's on fuel consumption, and you know, you use these arrows to scroll back and forth, and you want to get over here, and then you know, when you're on this, you can use the scroll wheel to go and look at stuff. So at the very top shows the date, shows driving time, fuel consumption. It also has a little voltage indicator there for your battery, average speed, all this good stuff, right? So if we hit this button here, it brings up a menu, and you can click on different things. So that goes to efficiency program. You can see your energy consumption. If we do it again, you've got your digital speedometer if you want that, which, you know, it's cool. And then if you scroll through, it shows all your other stuff there on the little mini screen below it. But if you've enabled lap timer, you should be able to scroll all the way down here and click on lap timer with the wheel. And then it brings up this, and I've got a link in the description to enabling your lap timer and having it, you know, show you how to turn it on with OBD11 and what it does. But this is what it is. If you've got a turbo vehicle, so a 2.0 turbo or a 4-liter twin turbo, you are going to have a digital boost gauge here, and it'll creep up the side here whenever you're in boost. For you 3.0T owners, supercharged engines, you won't have any boost indication. It just says boost. But when you put it in manual and you're driving, you're going to have a digital tachometer display. It'll start out green, then it'll go red for your RPM, you know, your shift limits, your red line. Now keep in mind, if you enable this, if you get an aftermarket TCU tune and ECU tune that raises your RPM, your red line, that won't coincide with the tachometer. So if your red line's at 7,400 RPMs, it's still going to start flashing red early on the lap timer digital tachometer. Still something really cool to see. My favorite thing about this though, it brings up your oil temperature. That's not engine temperature, that is oil temperature right here. And when you first start the car, it's going to show that, it's going to show that like 3 dashed lines until it gets to about 145 degrees. And in case you're curious, on average, your oil temperature should sit right around 221 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's a really cool thing. It'll still have your digital speed displayed, and then you can go through and use the actual lap timer if you want to for track. If you track your car, you can do that, and I show you guys how to do that in the DIY video on enabling it. All right guys, so there you go. That is our tips and tricks video and hidden features video for the Audi C7. If there's any others that I didn't go over that you think I should have covered, please let me know in the comments below. I know these cars have a ton of features that are available, and that some require computer programs such as VCDS or OBD11 to enable, but these are the main ones. Now there is one more hidden feature on these cars, and pretty much all newer Audis that have automatic transmissions or DSG, ZF, whatnot, that I didn't go over in this video, and that is something called AMAX, or acceleration max, acceleration maximum, and that is basically your OEM launch control. Now that is going to be a completely different video all on its own. I didn't want to throw it into this video just because that needs a dedicated video, so look for that in the near future. But anyways, as always guys, thank you for the support, and hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the next video.